So let's go ahead and create a cube in the center of our space here. And let me, we already went over how we can right click over this object and change its component mode. Well, the top of the modeling toolkit here, we also have the ability to change the component mode, or we can click multi-component, and this will allow us to simultaneously select vertices, faces, or edges, or we can select discrete component modes here. This last one is UVs. We'll talk about that later. Not in this video. So I can pick my component mode here. That's helpful. If I can't write, I can either right click and pick it, or I can choose it up here at the top. And we have here like symmetry, we can turn on or off here as well. So while we have symmetry as part of our tool settings, and we also have symmetry up here in the top toolbar, we also can find it here. Now there's another two type of properties that we can, or tools that we can turn on or off. And one of them is a selection constraint or a transform constraint. Let's go over selection constraint. I don't think I've ever, I'm not sure what the selection constraint, haven't really used that, but the transform constraint, we can turn that on in order to be able to move a particular edge or surface and maintain, right? Like I'm only really able to, even if I'm trying to pull this vertex up, if this is turned on, it's trying to maintain this vertice's position based on its edge flow. Harder to see with this cube, easier to see with the sphere. For example, I have this vertex here. When this is turned off, I'm able to move this vertex. Let's go to my tool settings and turn on component so I can pull this perpendicular. When that transform constraint is off, I'm able to pull this vertex anywhere. It doesn't have to maintain its position or maintain maintain its position relative to its original position. But if I turn this on to edge or surface slide, I'm not able to pull that vertex out from where it is. I'm only able to manipulate it along the surface that's already provided or along the edge that's already there. So these are just other constraints that may be helpful when you model. Right, you can see that it's maintaining the surface quality that's already there, but just changing the position. So that's what this transform constraint is, to turn that on or off. And that will become helpful as you start to fine tune the topology of your model. And topology is the edge flow and the flow of faces. Good topology, you can kind of see here with this sphere, is that all of our faces maintain a relative kind of scale type of scale in relation to each other. Like all of these faces are quads. They all flow in loops of edges or edge loops, or they flow in loops. The faces flow in loops around the model, and they're all like relatively the same size or proportional to each other. So those are just some good things with topology. And so once we have our model set, but we want to change its topology, meaning that we want to change the position of the edges and the vertices, but we don't want to necessarily deform the shape, we can use this transform constraint. And then we also have below that, we have like soft selection that we can turn on or off here as well.